Hey, welcome everybody. It's Tuesday morning. It's 8 a.m. We both got our coffee here and we're ready to rock and roll, I think. Are we?
Yep.
Are we?
Uh-huh.
Are you drinking coffee or you got water?
No, I'm drinking water. I'm done with coffee.
Oh, you're done with coffee.
Yeah, I had
Shit, you
two.
still owe me a cup.
Well, I mean, I'm done now.
Oh, done now. Oh, okay. I thought, oh my gosh, people, I could see our post office box flooding with email and mail. People, Brandon's given up coffee? No way. Can't happen.
No, I mean, I've been up early, so my coffee situation is done. But
You know,
what's happening today in the world of trash talk?
yeah. But speaking of happening in the world, you said to me, why don't we talk about something, positive stuff that's going on in the world? And I stopped dead cold and I responded to you and I said, that's going to be a very short show. Because with
I
the whole world situation, you think, man, how deep do you have to dive to find decent, good, fuzzy feeling news?
well, I get it. I get it. There's a lot to talk about that's not great right now,
Well,
but
because that's what makes the headlines, and that's what's the word breaking news. It's always bad, always bad.
but there are some things happening around the world that we would probably never hear about
Yeah,
unless unless we did a show like today. So
that's right. That's right.
I'm going to start off. I got
Okay.
this really cool thing. I'm not. This is a wham bam thank you ma'am type show. So um, here we go. Did you know that Australia could become the first nation in the world to eliminate cervical cancer?
No kidding.
They have done some breakthrough studies, breakthrough testing and research that they have found ways. And again, I'm not, you guys can go online, Google can be your friend. Um, and to eliminate cervical cancer in the early stages of almost 83% of the different kind of cancers that they've discovered. That's amazing.
You know what? You said we were going to talk about this, so I started reaching out and looking for things like that, and I found also in Australia that there is a lot of AI that's being used in research, and they say that in Australia that they have a system now that identifies uh, lung diseases with 97% accuracy using pixel scans and things like that, that they can find things like lung disease, 97% accuracy using these screenings.
Wow.
And I have heard in other cases that in the medical fields that probably over the next 10 years you are going to see dramatic acceleration in the use of AI in research, for especially for diagnosing diseases and helping to find cures for cancer and other stuff like that.
And that's the way it should be. That's what AI should be used for, not the other side of AI.
Right, right. Yeah, that's the positive side.
That's amazing. That's amazing. The technology and the people behind it that are forwarding this research, those are the winners in life.
Yeah.
Uh,
Did did you hear about the neighborhood in Denmark?
no.
There is a neighborhood in Denmark that has been completely built using 3D printing.
What?
They have a massive 3D printer that was developed in Denmark that builds housing, shops, offices, everything. The whole neighborhood was built with a 3D printer.
That
Hard,
is unheard of.
hard to believe, but it's been done. It's a unique 3D printer, and they built a food market. It says uh, a food market that's been with recycled furniture. A whole market has been made in India that was done with this thing called a caterpillar that built a food market. I
Well,
mean,
speaking of it, so I have to put this up because it won't. There
yeah,
is the main reserve reservations in Kenya recorded the eradication of illegal rhino poaching after the installation of thermal cameras and equipped with artificial intelligence. These cameras are not interfering in the rhino's behavior or anything. The rhinos don't even know they're there. But what they're doing is they're detecting unauthorized entries and immediately they're on top of that. This year alone, well, last year technically, only one incident of poaching slipped by them. That's cool.
very, very cool. I found a thing that the red-tailed Amazon parrot, which was almost completely an endangered species, through conservation in Brazil, the species has quadrupled and is completely off the endangered species list. And that's part of this. The world seems to forget about environmental issues. And something like this, where a species has almost been eradicated, and through conservation efforts, they've rebuilt the population.
Well,
Yeah,
speaking
but
of,
that's the stuff that falls on, page 87 in the newspaper or something.
well, I will tell you this. Speaking of off the endangered species list, pandas are now officially off the endangered
Really?
species list.
Okay.
And you know what? I love me a panda bear. I think they're the weirdest, dumbest, cutest animals in the world. I don't even understand them. I just want to hang out with them.
Yeah.
I, I get scrolling on TikTok and I get on Panda Talk, and all of a sudden I'm in the enclosures. They got these cameras where you can go live in the enclosures with these pandas, and they're eating and watching and playing basketball. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that the interest in polar bears increased because of the use of colas. What is it? Is it Coke or Pepsi that used Coke?
Go.
Coke used the polar bears in their ad. And all of a sudden, people were starting to take note of the polar bears again.
Well, we talk about conservation, which is awesome. One of the biggest things that we really need to do is look at our oceans. And there's a group of Dutch engineers who built a 600-meter long vacuum to collect plastics from the oceans and add marine life restoration without disturbing the current life on the bottom of the ocean floor.
Yeah, I mean that's good stuff, folks. You think that somebody's doing something positive, but that we don't know about. You got to
Yeah.
dig to find that kind of stuff. Here's the one that I saw in Michigan. Your old stomping grounds. 300 people turned out in a community to help a bookstore move across the street.
Oh,
300 people got together that transferred 9,000 books in under 2 hours.
oh my God. Dude, that's awesome.
I, that is just so cool, and you will only hear it right here on Trash Talk.
Supporting local, supporting reading. Shout out to Michigan.
Yep.
Uh, wow, great job. Yeah, again, these are things. that the news, and we're not going to go off on this, but these are things that the news and media outlets used to fit in to their daily whatever. And
Right,
now,
right.
so
You know,
we're
for instance, I think that something could be said for two shows that I've been following for years and years and years. One is the CBS Sunday Morning with Jane Pauley, because most of those are mostly good feel good stories. Some of them are get a little edgy because of the news, but they always have things about young, up and coming brilliant musicians. They're 6 years old and they're playing at Carnegie Hall. Uh, and also sometimes 60 Minutes also does some in-depth type programming on stories that you generally don't think about. Well, the kind of stuff that you watch that story, you say, "Wow, I never knew that." Why?
that's I mean, that's the way it's like, I get it, but it goes back to report the news regardless of what it is. This is not an opportunity for you to focus on one thing and narrative anyway. Well, I have another really cool thing that I was a fan of. I know your grandson plays a lot of video games. Luke plays a lot of video games. It's a thing.
Right,
And looking at the most popular platforms or games out there, Minecraft, one of the biggest things. Well, there was a Canadian father who has an autistic son, and his son was a big fan of Minecraft, but would try to connect with people online and was getting bullied, getting picked on for not knowing how to do things, just all kinds of crap. And it was discouraging. And he found his son kind of regressing and not playing Minecraft,
right.
which that's not okay, right? His name is the Canadian father's name is Stuart Duncan. Just there you go. He decided that he was going to build a Minecraft server that was a safe place for autistic kids. He has over 17,000
Followers.
autistic and
Wow.
and their families in a protected space called Autcraft. You can actually go to their website. And he does screenings and connects with the families first. They have strict rules about it. And there is a supportive community and environment over 17,000 strong. I love it. I love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because what are the normal news media covers is when you find out that some child has been bullied because of that same type of a thing, and then they end up committing suicide.
Oh, jeez.
Because they're bullied. It's because that's what makes the news. That's the breaking news part. But when you see somebody like this, it can get 17,000 people on board to follow and say, "Hey, it's okay to be autistic. It's okay to be on the
Yeah,
spectrum and to be able to grasp and enjoy these kinds of things." That more people need to hear about it.
they do. And I mean, we're talking about a major, major gaming platform, an entity that has made billions of dollars that so many people go on, that is quite frankly very creative. When I see what some of these people do on there, I'm blown away.
Absolutely. You're
When I
right.
see what he does on there, and he hasn't played as much lately, but when I see what he does on there, I'm like, I can't do that. Um, so to have a platform including that community, I'm excited about. I think it's great, and even in some of the darkest places we can find light. And Colombia has its ups and downs, right? I mean, we know that. But in the capital of Colombia, do you know that it has the third largest fleet of electric buses in the world, and has reduced air population by 24% since 2018? Freaking Colombia. They got the best cocaine in the world and coffee, but they got electric buses. Okay, guys, we can't do that. We can't even do that.
And I got one here. There is an Italian street artist
Of course, sir.
who has made it his mission to find hate symbols that are painted on walls all over the city and he creates plates of food out of it. You know, a graffiti artist that takes bad graffiti and makes it look good. Kudos to Giuseppe.
Yeah. In Austria, they've, we have these giant, we see them here, the giant electric towers and the electric lines going across. Kind of ugly, not much you can do with it. Well,
Right.
they would spend the extra money. Austria has created enormous power towers shaped like animals, one for each region representing the animal that symbolizes that
That
place.
region.
So I'm looking at it, guys. If you want to go, this is on Instagram, this is on Google. Symbolize that place. They have giant reindeer,
Okay.
a falcon. These things are, and because they have to have the towers anyway, and they said, let's make art out of it instead of a giant, enormous, and give it connection to that region. That's
Cool.
just cool, man.
You know, that's ingenuity, you know,
Yeah.
and take something that would normally be an eyesore, uh, and create something that is meaningful. Yeah.
It, something that we all want to see. And I got to go back to the animals, guys. I could do this forever. There's a lot of news out there. There's a lot of positive things, and that's what we wanted to do on this show.
There is,
Uh,
and if you just take the time to dig a little bit and everything, you'll feel good about it because you realize that with all the other crap that's going on in the news, that there is some really interesting stuff going on all over the world.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Portugal is preparing to unveil Europe's first large sanctuary dedicated to rescuing elephants from the circuses and zoos. They believe that they can create a better environment for the elephants in this open field protected sanctuary where they can live as opposed to being in a circus and a zoo. And I applaud that because I hate zoos. So
yeah, yeah. I do too. I don't think there's anything more disheartening than to, especially when you go into like the cat houses, for the tigers and the lions, and you see these poor animals that need to be roaming free and that just pacing back and forth, and that's their life, the rest of their life. Oh,
I think the only zoo that I would say is different is the Animal Kingdom in um, Florida, Disney's. Because I got to be honest with you, it doesn't feel like a zoo. It feels like you're in the jungle.
the Miami Zoo is that way too. A phenomenal place that's all, it's the animals are all well protected, but you don't look through bars to see them.
No.
They all roam in like a Serengeti.
I got two more, and then I'm going to shut up and let
Okay.
you. The Netherlands is closing 80% of its prisons due to falling crime rates, resulting in over 20 closures since 2009.
What do they attribute it to?
People not being dicks. I don't know.
I mean, I can understand if crime rates are down and they're not arresting people, then the jails are going to be empty and they can close them up.
Apparently, they believe the living, the opportunities, the population, the community. I don't know, but that's something to look at
Yeah,
because we're building prisons over here. But and here's
yeah,
one
yeah.
more from. I'll shut up. The green sea turtle, another one. Check it off the extinction list.
Oh
They're
yeah.
coming. They've made it, guys.
Okay, excellent.
I love turtles.
So the turtles and the parrots and everything are live and well and thriving.
Look, they were on the extinction list as of a year ago.
Yeah.
Now they're not.
Well, see, that's the kind of stuff that you get from trash talk. and all. You get good information and even a little bit of education. And occasionally you can throw in a cup of coffee
or water.
or water. Keep yourself hydrated. So, well, go out and make it a good day. Come back and see us again next week. We'll have something interesting to say, I'm sure. Okay? Take care.